Hello class, and today I'm going to talk to you about your product review assignment. This is your first major paper for me, and this is supposed to be a deductive argument, and the reason it's a deductive argument is I really want to make sure that you have this form of argument really solidly before we start on everything else. All right, so for this assignment, you're going to try out something that's new to you. It doesn't have to be a brand new product. I'm not asking you to go out and spend $200 on a GoPro, although I did have a student who did that once. Right? It just has to be new to you. It can be that your friend tried it and she's like, oh my God, it was awful. You totally got to try it. Right? Just like the Geico commercial. Right? It can be anything you want. It can be something small, cheap, right? But you do have to try the product and then evaluate the product. Right? And in order to evaluate it, you have to choose criteria with which to judge it. Right? So for example, right, I have a sippy cup, right? I love my sippy cups. I have many sippy cups, right? One reason this is my favorite sippy cup is it has all the things I like in a sippy cup, right? First of all, tip it over, very little leak, right? Second, right, it's got a good sized straw that I don't lose because I'm always forever losing things. Right? I like that it's handheld, right? I have a bunch of sippy cups. I have one that is enormous that one of my coworkers gave me, and I love it because it holds so much coffee. It's fantastic, but it's so heavy, and I can't take it on a road trip because it doesn't fit into the cup holder, and I can't hold it with one hand, right? And that's really important to me, right? And something else I really like about this particular sippy cup is that it's both hot and cold, right? Some sippy cups are only cold, some sippy cups are only hot, right? And so one of my criteria for a good sippy cup is it's versatile. It can do both. All right, so my criteria are relatively spill-proof lid, big straw, can hold it in my hand, and it's versatile for hot, cold. Right? Those would be my criteria. For your product, whatever it is, you have to choose 4 criteria. All right, and how you're going to judge it. Now, you can choose any product you want. All right, and for those of you who are like, oh, any product, Alex? That's right, any product, right? Now, and I am not going to censor you at all, right? I am not. I have had the student who wrote about whatever you have imagined. I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this longer than some of you have been alive, right? So I can tell you that I am super hard to offend. Whatever you choose to write about is going to be fine with me. However, I don't know about the rest of the class. You don't know about the rest of the class. Right? None of us know each other. So, be aware that if you write about something uber mega extra risque, I am not going to be offended. Right? And I have had the student who did that. I've also had the student who in peer review read the super uber mega extra risque product review, and her eyes were like dinner plates. And she was like, I feel sort of verbally assaulted. All right, so be aware, right? If you're going to write about something, really, really out there, be willing to stand behind it, right? Be willing to take the hit for it. And I do have a story about that, but it's not really appropriate for right now. But if you want to know, hit me up. All right, so you have to have 4 criteria. You got to write it in deductive organization with a clear thesis statement. The thesis statement has to say really clearly, buy this product because blah, blah, blah. Don't buy this product because blah, blah, blah. You could buy this product if, depending on if you're willing to lose your amount of money for these things, right? But it should be a clear thesis statement. All right, so it should be your strong support for evaluation. That support is going to come both from research and also from your experience. So you're actually trying this, that experience is the support for your evaluation. For your grammatical errors in MLA format, right? So this assignment meets these general education standards. When you get to IDS 110, they're going to talk to you about the portfolio, and all your assignments that you do for your classes should meet the general education goals. So these are the 3 general education goals, or these 3 definitely meet the general education goals, so that you could, in theory, put this in your portfolio. Right? These course outcomes. So these are the things I want you to be able to do by the end of this project. Right? You can have a clearly defined product, purpose of writing an argument for or against buying a product. The audience is for somebody who's never tried your product before. All right, you get to practice the writing process a lot. All right, because you get to come up with ideas, you got to draft, get feedback, revise, edit. All right, all of that. All right, research documentation, so you do get to practice MLA format and MLA citation. Yay! And correctness. All right, that's the sentence level comma stuff. All right, and for those of you who are like, ugh, commas. Yes, here they are again. All right, and yes, I am going to judge you on those. All right, so let me talk to you about how I'm going to grade this paper. All right, now you'll notice there's 4 columns here. So you got your advanced, proficient, needs work, missing. All right, your proficient is your 100 out of 100. All right, if you do all of these things, you get an A. Advanced is your extra credit opportunity. So for those of you who are like, a 99 isn't good enough, I have to have 103. Here's your opportunity for extra credit. All right, needs work, this is, you sort of got it, but not exactly. Like I see glimmers of greatness, but it's not there yet. All right, you still need some cooking. All right, and then missing is giant goose egg. It's got nothing. Keep your work out of the missing, because boy, the missing will eat your grade really fast. All right, so proficient for your thesis, you have to make a clear argument regarding the product supported by your 4 criteria. Buy this product because blah blah blah. All right, your criteria. Right, you should have at least 4, and it has to make sense for the genre, right? Like for hunting dog collars, it does not matter if it comes in plaid, paisley, or gray, right? That's not what's important for hunting dog collars, right? So it needs to make sense. Your criteria have to make sense for the genre of the product. All right, has to be organized deductively, including an opposition refutation. All right, now there's always somebody out there in the world who reviews a product and who's going to crap on it. Like, I don't know who it is who lives in the world where all they do all day long is find things to crap on, but those people do exist, and they seem to live on the internet. And so you are not going to have a problem finding a product review on Amazon or someplace else where somebody's going to be like, oh no, this totally sucked. Or alternately, if you found a product that's really awful and you're like, oh my God, this is so terrible, you will find somebody inevitably out there who'll be like, it's the greatest thing ever! Because the opposite is also true. There are people who are optimistically, constantly cheerleaders. They look an awful lot like me. But you know, everything for them is sunshine and rainbows and unicorns. All right, your development. All right, each paragraph has clear supporting points for evaluation. Writer use examples. All right, so it's not just enough to say this product is great because blah blah blah, and then each body paragraph has 3 reasons. All right, those 3 reasons need examples. They need illustration. This is part of the place where I break students of thinking that a paragraph can only be 5 sentences. A lot of the time students think a paragraph cannot be 4, it cannot be 6 sentences, because otherwise they're going to get the hall pass to hell. Right? I do not have the hall pass to hell, and I'm pretty sure you're not going to get one for having a longer paragraph. In college, we're generally looking for 7 to 12 sentences in a paragraph. All right? We want them to be well developed. Research. So here's your research. You got to go find other people who looked at your product. Lots and lots of Amazon reviews. There are all kinds of websites out there that review products. Go find some. Go find some research. Paper is MLA format, so 10% of this grade is just, did you make it look like an MLA formatted paper? All right, and the reason I want you to do this is so that you are familiar with MLA formatting. All right, and then 20% of your grade is GUMP, grammar, usage, mechanics, punctuation. All right, and yes, this is true. 20% of your grade, seriously, is editing. All right, you get 1 to 6 errors throughout your whole paper and you still keep all your points. 7 to 9, you've lost 5 points. If there are more than 10 or more, so if there are 10 or more errors in your paper, it's a big fat goose egg. And the reason it's 20% of the grade is that I've found that students work up to as hard as they need to in order to get the grade they want. Right? And editing is hard. There is no question. Some people are better at looking at the small details than other people. So there's a little bit of a preponderance to it, but mostly it's just a way of looking at your paper differently and valuing those small punctuation marks, valuing that it is correct. right? And it is important to me that you do walk out of this class able to edit carefully, right? I am the person who shouts at the TV, right, when somebody says things incorrectly. Right? And I have been on search committees where I have read resumes that were just riddled with grammar and spelling errors, and they just went into the trash. Because no, if you weren't willing to work that hard to write a good resume and to carefully check it, I'm not going to trust you to work for me. Right? I'm just not. I mean, I run a writing lab. Duh. But it's also true of my internet dating profile. Like, if you can't spell check, you can't date this. Right? So this matters. And it doesn't just matter with me, it matters out in the world. And I want you to have that skill of being able to carefully edit your work. And so it's 20% of your grade. All right. I have given you an example here. So if you go to actually find the file, here is an actual assignment by an actual student who wrote this a bunch of years ago. All right, and so you can look at the example. All right, I also used that example as my example in the peer review to give you an idea of what kind of feedback to give one another. I'm not sure what other questions you have. Please hit me up with questions. I will answer them, and I guess that's it for right now. Thanks.